Are you living the life that you have come here to live? Are you living the life that you have come here to live? Well, I don't know, Simon. I got a good life. Visions, affirmations, daily practice. Life I've come here to live. And I don't know. What is that? Well, it's destiny. Maybe that's an okay word to use. Not predestiny, but destiny. The soul's purpose. Your personal vision and mission. Your calling. Stephen Pressfield, who wrote the awesome book, The War of Art, highly recommend it, refers to it as answering the call of your inner genius. Paulo Coelho, who wrote the book The Alchemist, awesome book, highly recommend it, refers to it as following one's personal legend. And he writes, it's what you've always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they're young, knows what their personal legend is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They're not afraid to dream and to yearn for the thing that would make them most happy, for everything they'd like to see happen to them in their lives. There is one great truth on this planet, that whoever you are and whatever you're doing, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe to realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. Another way to think about it, or phrase it, is, are you living as a revealer of truth? Because if you are living the life that you have come to live, if you are fulfilling your soul's purpose, if you're answering your call, you are a revealer of truth. You are an expression of the divine. When you are being and doing that which you have come to be and do, you are, by, in my definition, a revealer of truth. And I think I prefer the term revealer of truth because it speaks to, it implies that it's the way I'm living, how I'm showing up, as opposed to, answering my soul's purpose, which kind of sounds like a one-time thing, right? Like you do it and then you're done. And this is an epiphany that I had. I love how God works. All of us ministers have our process for how we put together a talk or whatever. Raz would know this. It never fails that when I'm working on my talk, I'm doing my talk, getting it all ready, like the day before or the hour before sometimes, the beloved is like, oh, let's change that. Let's redo that. There's a it's deeper realization that drops in for me. And this happened to me yesterday. I was with my Sangha, my God squad, my group of brothers. And we're talking about this. I was sharing with them. And this epiphany, this deeper realization I had was, often when we talk about my soul's purpose, what have I come here to be and do? What is the life I've come here to live? I don't know about you, but I tend to think of it as like an accomplishment, like an external accomplishment. Like, hey, I'm a minister at Mile High Church. Hey, I've got a master's degree. Hey, I'm this or that, or I have this title, or I did that thing. I don't think so. Those are important things, don't get me wrong. Those are definitely parts of our personal legend, of the life we have come here to live. But it's about how I am accomplished. What I become in the process of doing those things. For instance, let me give you an example. It is part, I believe, of my personal legend, of me living the life that I want to live, to be willing, to be courageous enough, to find the courage, to develop the courage, to be open to the courage, to be vulnerable and present with another so that I can truly open to a deeper expression of love. That is part of living the life that I have come here to live. Now, I can do that as a Mile High church minister. Awesome opportunity. I could do that as a CEO of a company. I could do that as a stay-at-home dad. I could do that as a famous actor or activist or scientist. I could do that as some obscure dude living in a town that nobody has ever heard of, and it's just how I show up. I could do that as a very wealthy person, a person of power and means. I could do that living out of my vehicle or living under a bridge. And sometimes I get too fixated on the external reflections of that, when really the life that I've come here to live is about how I'm showing up, who I am in the process of unfolding my journey. Here's what Ernest Holmes has to say about being a revealer of truth. The quotes that Barry read, but I want to repeat them because, this is it. This is what our founder says. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God, way over there, way out there, he didn't say it that way, I said that, and the innermost God is one God. God within, God without, one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that all may become a revealer of truth who live in close contact with the indwelling God, who feel the indwelling presence. Awesome, Simon. That's what I've been doing. I'm trying to figure out my life, but how do I know? How do I know when I'm living the life that I have come here to live? Just follow your heart. Listen to your heart. When you are aligned with the life that you have come here to live, there is a feeling, an enthusiasm, a passion, a connectedness, a presence. Whether your life is working out exactly as you intended it, or whether you're in some interesting dark space that you never consciously attended, when we are on point, there is a feeling sense, an aliveness. So that's it. Listen to my heart? Really? Just listen to my heart. Sounds really simple. If it's so simple, why didn't everybody do it? Well, it is simple. It is simple. Follow your heart. Not always easy. Why is it not easy? What gets in the way? We do. We get in the way of living the life we have come to live. We believe the narrative of separation. We believe that God, our good, is somehow out there and we have to be worthy of it. We have to seek it. We have to find it, that it's not already present. We get lost in the beliefs of lack and limitation, of not enoughness. We get lost in the monkey mind chatter, and they overpower the voice of the heart. They overpower the soft whispering. We no longer listen to our hearts. In the book The Alchemist, the main character, Santiago the shepherd, learns people are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to attain them. Everyone on earth has a treasure that awaits them. We, people's hearts, seldom say much about those treasures because people no longer want to go in search of them. We speak of them only to children. Later, we simply let life proceed in its own direction toward its own fate. For unfortunately, very few people follow the path laid out for them, the path of their personal legends, the path to happiness. I want to share with you a story from my life to illustrate how this can happen, how this can show up, what it can look like. And I invite you, as you listen to my story, reflect, be open. Is there times where you've heard that voice, that inspiration, that revelation, that yes, and then it got drowned out? So it used to be that at Mile High Church, we had this strong, vibrant men's ministry. Raz was part of it. We went on many trips together. And that was a big thing. Once a year, we would go to this retreat. Often happened in the spring. We would get off campus and have this powerful retreat. I think this was in 2008 or so, if I'm recalling right. And we went up to this place called Aspen Lodge. It was on the way up to Estes Park. Beautiful, gorgeous place. Bunch of guys. Heck, at one point, one of our retreats, I don't know if it was this one, I don't think it was. One of our retreats, we had like over 100 guys there. And, we would get together Friday night, we'd check in, we'd have this powerful ritual process, we'd set our intentions, we'd set up an altar. And all day Saturday, we'd have speakers, and the ministers would present things, deep process. And it was an opportunity for guys, for men, to sit down with other men and just be present, be honest, be honorable, be available. It was powerful. And then usually that evening we'd have like a drum circle or, dancing. Awesome. Sunday, we would wake up, silence. You'd go to breakfast, silence. Not unpack, but do whatever you needed to do in your room to check out, load your stuff up, silence, stay in silence. And then we'd come together for a service. And all of the Mayo Mile High ministers that were up there would put on this service. Powerful closing. It's great. Awesome. Well, this particular year, Saturday night, it snowed. Hello, Colorado, spring, March, April, it snows. I don't know. It wasn't like a blizzard like we were all snowed in, but it was a chunk. I'm going to say somewhere between 6 inches and a foot. There was a bunch of snow. And I got up real early, and I went out, I checked out of my room, and I just be in that space. I'd already had breakfast. I went out there, I was loading my stuff up, and was cleaning my truck off, and suddenly I got this idea. And it just popped in. I mean, surely you've had that happen. Like these ideas pop in. Boop. How does that happen? I didn't set an intention to think this thought. It just sort of came in. And then I'm reminded, Ernest Holmes, there's not my mind and God's mind. There's only one mind. That which I call my mind is the part of God's mind that I am using, that I am identified with. So it's simply migrated in as part of the one mind. I got this idea. I can scoop the snow off of everyone's car. This will be great. And right away, I was attacked. I know, attacked sounds a little dramatic, but no, it was like that. It was like, you idiot. You're going to scoop the snow off of everybody's car? Do you know how many cars are here? There must be like 50 or 60 cars here. And you're going to scoop the snow off all the cars. You don't have time. You're going to be late for the service. And besides, it's cold out here. And I went from this to this. Oh, and you don't have permission to, these are other people's cars. This is their property. You don't have permission to do anything with them. I mean, what happens if some guy comes out while you're cleaning his car? You're like, hey, what are you doing around my car? Get away from my car. You're going to feel awkward. That's going to be weird. What if you scratch somebody's car, huh? Or break their antenna, bend an antenna? Oh, that'll be great. Hey, Mile High minister breaks some. Actually, I wasn't a minister at that point, so that could have been okay. I could have scratched your car and it'd be fine. But no, so that, and I'm like this, and I'm like, but, I just wanted to be of service. I just, expression of gratitude for my brothers. Oh, that's what you say. That's what you say, that it's some selfless act of service. But no. What if you just want attention? Huh? That's it. You just want people to be like, oh, hey, what's Simon doing? Oh, he's cleaning our cars. Hey, everybody, let's stand up and give Simon a big applause. He cleaned off all our cars. Isn't he such a great guy? We love Simon. You're right, it's a stupid idea. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't have that much time. It is cold out. Yeah, okay, that was dumb. I don't know what. And any other day, that's what might have happened. Any other day, I would have listened. The voice, the heart, it would have gotten drowned out. Because let me tell you, those voices were real. But not this time. See, I was prayed up. I'd been in retreat. I'd been with my brothers all week. I was about as close to God as I get in the human form. I was prayed up. And so when those voices were doing their thing, I was like, well, you're right. Yeah, it is cold out here. Yeah, there's a lot of cars. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess someone might not understand. Sure, you're right. Yeah, you don't have permission. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man, maybe it's not entirely selfless. Yeah, maybe I'm still in the equation. Yeah. I was prayed up. So I heard the heart. I heard what was being asked of me in that moment. And I did it. I scooped the snow off all of those cars. And I don't know how many cars there were, and I don't know how long it took, and I don't know if anybody recognized me and thanked me. I suppose a few did, and none of that mattered because I was in this place. I was enthused. I was filled up. I was living my personal legend. I was living the life that I have come here to live. Now, I don't mean that I have come here to sweep snow off of people's cars. I'm not saying that's my personal calling. Didn't matter. I have come here to be a loving presence, and that simply happened to be the form, the opportunity that the divine made me aware of in the moment, and I said yes. Now, I would love to tell you that since then, I just always say yes, and I am always living my personal legend. No, there's times where I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm angry, I'm distracted, I'm whatever, and that little opportunity comes up, that little, and I give in to this. It happens. But I will tell you this, that having had that experience, I'm aware. And if I'm aware, I can choose. And it's my fondest hope and desire that in sharing this story with you, you're now aware too. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be a little more likely to catch that whisper of the heart. Now here, let's see, so here's the problem. Here's the danger. If I don't ever listen to my heart, right? If I always let it get squashed, if I always let those other voices override it, the danger is my heart will stop speaking. Or not stop speaking, but it won't be as loud. It'll get easier and easier to get lost in the distractions. It'll be easier and easier to listen to and believe the narrative of separation. It'll be easier and easier to just go, yeah, I'll just play it safe. I'll just be me. Yeah. Here's what it says from The Alchemist. Most people see the world as a threatening place, and because they do, the world turns out to indeed be a dangerous place, right? That's what we teach here, right? Life tends to mirror back what we believe it to be. So, we, their hearts, speak more and more softly. We never stop speaking, but we begin to hope that our words won't be heard. We don't want people to suffer because they don't follow their hearts, because that is what makes hearts suffer most, and hearts do not like to suffer. But when we do listen to our hearts, when we do listen for or be open to that sense of enthusiasm and passion, when we can stick with that, then we're open to guidance, support, resources, and just a sense of certainty, a sense of aliveness that comes when we're following our passions. Here is what Stephen Pressfield has to say about following the calling of the heart. How many of us have become drunks and drug addicts, developed tumors and neuroses, succumbed to painkillers, gossip, and compulsive cell phone use simply because we don't do the thing that our hearts, our inner genius, is calling us to do? Resistance defeats us. If tomorrow every one of us, by some stroke of magic, every dazed and benighted soul woke up and took the first steps towards pursuing his or her dreams, every shrink in the directory would be out of business, Prisons would stand empty. The alcohol and tobacco industries would collapse along with the junk food, cosmetic surgery, and infotainment businesses, not to mention pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and the medical profession from top to bottom. Domestic abuse would become extinct, as would addiction, obesity, migraine headaches, road rage, and dandruff. I don't know about dandruff, but the rest of it, yeah, I believe. Awesome. How do we cultivate it? Well, there are many ways. But I want to give you a little bit more than just listen to your heart. So, I'll leave you with 3 words. And we'll talk a little bit about them. Ask, listen, act. Ask, listen, act. Ask. Ask is a little bit interesting for us religious science, right? Ask. We tend to declare, we proclaim, we affirm. Ask. It's like, well, Simon, who am I asking? Am I asking, we don't really do the great big daddy sky god. Who am I asking? Well, when we ask, we're creating a container. I like to think of it like asking is an intention formed as a question. And when we form a container, when we present the divine with a vessel, with an empty vessel, it's just begging to be filled. There's that said, nature abhors a vacuum. Well, when we present the beloved with a container and ask, the divine is more than happy to fulfill. When we ask with an expectation of an answer, the divine is more than happy to comply. So ask. And then listen. It's kind of rude to ask and not listen. But it can happen if you're in the thing of life and you ask and then boom, you get right on busy to the next thing. Listen. Listen with expectancy. There's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. It is constantly using us. So when we ask, we then listen. Don't let God off the hook. Hello, I've asked. Expect. From the Alchemist it says, listen to your heart and learn its ways. Be aware of the places in which you are brought to tears. For that is where the heart is, and that is where your treasure is. Listen to the voice that does this to you. Not the voices that do this. Listen. And then act. When your heart lights up, you have to act. And often you have to act quick. I'm all for one for planning and, measure twice, cut once. But you got to act. Because as soon as you get that, you'll get all the other stuff. Whenever we ask for that which we are desiring to become, all that which is not like it tends to rise to the surface. And it's real easy to get lost in this and forget this. So we have to act. Because if we don't act, it's like a seed that has fallen on barren soil. And it lies there either dormant or it dies. But when we act, in whatever way we are called to act, in whatever way is appropriate in that moment, we are planting that seed. We allow that seed to come into fruition, and its harvest will nourish many. Everything is a manifestation of the one. The one God, the one power, one spirit, one mind, one intelligence, one consciousness, the mystery, the beloved. Each of us, along our journey, however that journey is showing up, each of us is given opportunity after opportunity to live the life that we came here to live. To live our personal legend, to live our soul's calling, to be the one that we have come here to be the greatest expression of God qualities that we can be. To be a revealer of truth is to have the courage and the presence to listen to the whispers of the heart. to follow our passions and enthusiasm wherever they may lead us, no matter how ridiculous it sounds at times. To be a revealer of truth is to share our gifts and the treasures that we uncover along the way with the world. That is why we are here, and it is our only true obligation.